Please meet the crew of Trash TV. Chaz Klimchek was once bitten by a radioactive silkworm. Now he spins intricate tales. Minty LaFresh once got into an arm wrestling match with a killer whale. It ended in a draw. Captain Cinema once learned German just to order a hamburger. As for hot-headed headbanger,
I don't always drink beer. Wait, who am I kidding?
watch with us, my friends. Hi, I'm Captain Cinema.
Road trip! Hey Chaz, while I'm driving, how about if you say a couple words about Pauly Shore's Summer of Shore? This one does fit right up your alley. I'm pretty sure it's pretty easy to say.
What horror movie was he in? Who's Pauly Shore?
No. I'm not gonna do that. No.
Nobody gets in to see the brewer! I'm Captain Cinema, and I'm at New Glarus Brewing in New Glarus, Wisconsin. Why am I here, you may ask? What does Pauly Shore have to do with beer? Before I get into that, let's take a tour. Phantom of the Mall, Eric's Revenge from 1989 is a tale of revenge and consumerism. Seeing as how my copy is missing 15 minutes of running time, it starts out as a mystery, which is a good thing because otherwise this movie would have been incredibly repetitive. Just before the new mall can open, someone has broken in and is taking various items. It's Eric. Thanks a lot, title, for ruining that surprise.
And on a personal note, as a beloved parent...
This is where we meet Posner, the mall's owner. Recognize him? Well, that's Jonathan Goldsmith.
I don't always drink beer, but when I do...
I told you there's a connection to Pauly Shore and beer in this movie. We meet the rest of the characters. Melody, Eric's former girlfriend, the mayor, played by Morgan Fairchild, Susie, Melody's best friend, and Pete, the local paparazzi.
Okay, folks, don't forget, I know some of you have already received your invitations to the Mall Investors 4th of July ceremony.
Gee, I wonder if that's going to be an important plot point. Meanwhile, Eric is watching all of this and decides to plan the party accordingly. And we finally meet Buzz, the last of the friends.
I promise not to spit in your yogurt.
Played by Pauly Shore.
Have a vanilla also.
Oh, hey, yours are extra.
I know this sounds corny, but you look familiar to me.
You look familiar too.
That fire last year. I'm the one that took your picture when they brought you in.
You have a good memory.
That fire happened around here somewhere, didn't it?
Yeah, you're standing on it.
After some small talk, Peter introduces himself to Melody, explaining that he was the photographer at the site of the fire that took place last year that claimed Eric's life. At her locker, Melody is surprised by flowers and an obligatory flashback.
Hey,
Mel, what's wrong?
Buddy, I think it's time for a little talk.
Don't you mean it's time for a talk, buddy? Oh! We also meet the head of mall security, played by Ken motherfucking Foray. Seriously, dude, you went back to the mall after what happened last time?
How much fuel do we have?
Not much.
All right.
The first victim of the movie is a sleazy security guard. But don't worry, he'll pop up in the movie later. I mean, come on, it is a horror movie. I love how he has a minimal reaction to what just happened. He didn't panic, didn't run away, just grabbed his glasses and time to read a note. A corpse doesn't always fall from the ceiling, but when it does, I don't react.
Mrs. Posner, I may be requiring your services again.
After work, Melody gets to her car to realize that someone has broken in and left a dress. Aw, that's kind of sweet. I would have taken loose change, but that's just me. Confused by the second random gift, she decides to flee the scene. But horror movie trope number 1, the car won't start. So she has to get out to investigate. Was that a gong? I'm pretty sure that was a gong. Who uses a gong in a soundtrack? It's here that Melody gets attacked in the parking lot by a masked assailant. But don't worry, help is on the way. Meanwhile, Peter decides to investigate the Matthews investigation because something doesn't sit right with him. Peter, being the only other person in the parking lot, finds Melody and comforts her, offering this advice.
Look, I'll take you home and then I'll report it to the police. I know they're going to want to talk to you. But for tonight, why don't you just try to get some rest?
That night, while Melody is having a sex dream, it's rudely interrupted by a nightmare. The night Eric's house caught fire, revealing a sinister face with sinister intent. The following day, Buzz and Peter break into the security office, and Buzz tells Peter that the mall is using subliminal messages to increase sales.
The sales clerks are my friends.
See, it's subliminal. It's under the music. I mean, this is hot stuff, huh?
Deceptive, yes. Illegal, no.
Actually, it's highly illegal. It's here that Peter recognizes the newest security guard. When Peter takes a picture of young Paul Blart, we're treated to a hilarious mall chase. I want my $2! Peter gets away by taking a picture of the mayor and pretending it's for the weekend section. What Peter didn't know was that young Paul Blart is being honored in the weekend section. We would like to say thank you to a very special security guard who has no problem knocking over a small child and punching a delivery man. Peter tracks down Melody to tell her about the security guard while he's still at the mall.
There's something else wrong here, isn't there?
Yeah. First the flowers, then yesterday I go to my car and there was something left in my car. It was the same dress that I wanted to buy but I couldn't afford. Then, right before you came in, I went and I punched some numbers on the jukebox and this song started playing.
I'm a stony, crusty dude with the mop on top. My melon's fully sweet.
So, somebody screwed up the records in the jukebox.
No, this was Eric's and my song.
What the hell do you mean my son's hanging around Windsor's? I told that little...
I know, sir, and I was going to escort him off the premises. But I thought you might want to handle...
I don't always have trouble with my son, but when I do, it's because he's an asshole. Her son eventually meets his end at the hands of an escalator. Peter eventually pieces everything together and comes up with a theory.
I think I know what's going on. See if this makes any sense to you. The guard with the earring has got to be the guy that you saw at Eric's house that night. Now he's working here at the mall, and nobody in mall administration seems to know who he is. Somebody is covering up for him. But who?
Posner? But why?
Because Eric's family wouldn't move out. He must have hired the guard with the earring to torch Eric's house, the guy you saw that night.
But why would he come around now? Peter, what if Eric didn't really die in that fire?
Well, I'd be upset if Eric were dead. The whole time I've been calling the Phantom Eric. That would just be a very misleading title, wouldn't it? After a car chase, Peter takes Melody to the cemetery to see if Eric was in fact buried.
Maybe we should think about this. I mean, not only is this illegal, it's sacrilegious.
Only if he's in here.
This place is giving me the creeps.
Horror movie cliche! When it's discovered that Boy Meets World's grave is empty, they decide to go to the highest authority in the land.
The property, we think that Posner's responsible.
Now, if that were true, he would be guilty of murder. That's a very heavy accusation.
Eric Matthews is still alive.
In reruns of Boy Meets World.
Well, what can we do?
Find Eric Matthews.
What do you mean they know? If you had done your job right, we wouldn't be in this mess right now.
I'll take care of it.
Why don't you just wear a friggin' sign? I did it.
Young Paul Blart tries to kill Melody when Eric shows up to the rescue. We get an amazing, over-the-top, Power Rangers style fight scene. When Melody comes to, she's in the lair of the Phantom.
Hello, Eric.
It says a lot about her character that she's not afraid of him.
I'm sorry about the way I look.
When Melody refuses his stolen gifts, Eric launches into a tirade and plants explosive devices throughout the mall during the dinner that was mentioned earlier. Will Eric get his revenge? Will Posner pay for his crimes? Will Buzz and Susie save the investors? Will Peter and Melody escape? Is it me, or was Ken Forey the worst head of mall security ever? I love how rather than having a guard dog, Eric has a guard cobra. Where the hell did you get a cobra from? The cast is decent, and surprisingly enough, Shore hadn't developed his ego yet, and his character is incredibly likable. You actually want to see him succeed. You can see how he went on to become a big star. The Phantom aspect of all the places in a mall to hide out is a nice touch, but I kept thinking Arnold Schwarzenegger from Commando was going to swing across the mall. Oh hell, I have to. It's an easily forgettable movie, but it's a fun movie to make fun of. Unless you're at a party and want to make fun of it with some friends, I'd skip it. Or if you want to see an early Pauly Shore movie. That's just my opinion. Bye.